Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here, and today I'm reviewing an album that I've been waiting to review for quite some time because I wanted to keep listening to it on repeat to make sure I fully understand what's happening on this album before I review it. So, as you can read the title above, today I am reviewing Woods of Ypres, Woods 5, Gray Skies, and Electric Light. Now, all in all, there is 11 tracks on this album. And the reason why I wanted to wait so long to review this, because I could have reviewed it back in October when I finally heard the album for the first time and a couple times during that day. I wanted to keep listening to it and processing it because, to me personally, every few years or maybe once a year, hopefully, there comes an album that just really just like either touches you in a way or makes you go, this is astounding music. And for me, for this album, for the past 2 or 3 years, I would have to say this album probably has touched me the most emotionally and just astonishes me, really, of how the music quality of this album is. Now, I do want to say one thing, not two things. One thing is that I'm not saying these things about this album or giving it high praise because of the death of David Gold, the lead singer, who did die last year in December of 2011. I'm not saying all these things because of his death and I'm trying to praise his final work that got released after his death. I'm saying this because this is what the album actually is. I'm not saying this just because of his death. It is very saddening and to know that this is the last record, but this album is just mind-blowing because there's so much emotion behind every single track. Even when David Gold is not singing or doing his vocal style, that's not singing like a black metal style vocalist, even when he's not singing, the music has so much emotion. I don't know how they got the emotion that I'm feeling into that music with no lyrics. When the lyrics are hitting, it's so hard to not get emotional while listening to this stuff because it is so powerful. And I'm not going to go through each individual song and tell you why I like each individual song because I think every song on this album is just, if it's not perfect in your eyes, to me it is just excellent quality music. There's so many things I could possibly say, but it's not coming to mind because there's so much you could say about this album because it's so great. I mean, just the clean guitar tones are perfect. The actual distorted guitars are really, really powerful. The bass guitar is very, very good. The drums are very well suited and fits well with the rest of the instruments that's going on. David Gold's vocal style and his words and the way that he sings and the way he does do his black metal style growling, raspy style voice. You know what I mean by the black metal vocal style. But mainly his singing, because there's so much singing on this album, and just his words alone, without thinking about how he's pronouncing the words, how he's saying them, how he's put the words together, just the lyrics in general are just so powerful. I mean, I just don't know how he sat there and wrote all these really powerful and really emotional style lyrics, and literally I'm still trying to figure out how he got some of the lines that he's did, because basically each song, it doesn't sound like lyrics for a song, if you know what I mean. Each lyrical content that's involved in each song, there's so much of it going on. There's a lot of different change ups and everything like that. It sounds like to me that it's poetry. It sounds like he's reading a poem, but it's singing it through lyrics in a song, if you know what I mean. Because some people do claim that music or songs are poetry in a way, or poems. But I feel like David Gold, he honestly, he could write poetry. That's how well of a lyricist he is. That's how great of a writer he is. And just, it blows my mind of how he could do it. But on to actually how he sings. His singing is so superb. He knows how to hit these certain notes, and he knows how to harmonize with himself on these songs. It's just astonishing. It really is. And I do want to say the opening track, Lightning and Snow, is a great opener because it sets you up for the rest of the album. Because the first couple seconds you hear this like really eerie sound, and then it jumps in with the drums, and then the guitar and bass come in, and then just just the mixture of David Gold's vocals with the black metal style vocals, the actual, growling, and then we go off into the singing in the chorus about the lightning and slow. There was a flash of crackling light. I think that's the right word. I could be wrong, but it's just like, whoa, like it just blows my mind of how great this album sounds and how it is. So overall, I think this album needs to be just recognized as a superb album of 2012 and all together for all of metal, because like I said, there comes an album every few years to your heart or your mind that really stands out musically and emotionally and just touches you in so many different ways that you can't explain it. To me, it's this album for the past few years. It just really blows my mind that this album can do this to me, because typically I don't listen to really a lot of doom metal or stuff similar to that, but just hearing this album just makes me want to go, what else is out there? And I just want to praise the band, and David Gold especially, for their superb work on this album, because it's just great quality music. It really just blows my mind how some of the music in this album, it just sounds so spectacular. It sounds just mind-blowing to me. Like, a lot of the times you can tell that the music is so simple, and simplistic writing sometimes might be bad or good, but it just just every musical thing that they're trying to do on this album that they do accomplish, it all blends together very well. I mean, the ending track, alternative ending, is that what it is? Alternative ending? Hold on. Alternate ending, sorry about that. That song a great ending song of this album. And I think like every single song has its own right place to be on this album for a reason. Either it's the great lyrical content, which is always throughout the whole entire album, or just the great riffs or something that you remember from that track. It could be just a little instrumental part, or it could be David Gold's spectacular like lyrics, or just the way he's pronouncing these words. Because honestly, if you don't catch yourself singing along with David Gold on some of the tracks on this album, or all the tracks, then I don't know, maybe the album is not really emotionally touching you like it did me. But everything on this album was just superb work. The lyrics, the vocals, the guitar work, the bass work, the drum work, everything fitted together perfectly in harmony to create this masterpiece of an album. Because I honestly wish that David Gold didn't die, because of course fans of Woods of Ypres would say that. But to know that this is his last album, he went out with a spectacular bang with this album. Of course, this album was created before his death, and it was already completed, but to know that what he left behind was his music, and what he left behind was a spectacular final album released after his death. And I think this album really sums up a lot of his emotions. I mean, a lot of what he was feeling at the time, and I think there's no better way that there's no better thing, I should say, that he could have left behind. That was this album. Nothing, in my opinion, would have been better than this album, because I think this sums up what Woods of Ypres is, and this is just a great way to say goodbye to David Gold, and rest in peace to him. Sorry about that, and all that. So, like I said, once again, if you have not heard this album, you have to go listen to it. I recommend listening to the opening track, Lightning and Snow, and basically just follow through, listen to the whole entire album, and if it doesn't touch you emotionally, put it on repeat and try again, because there's just something on this album that keeps me going back to it. So this is my review. It's just a spectacular album, just a lot of good things added. So there's so many things that you could like about it, and maybe you'll like all of them, maybe you'll like only some of them. But regardless, there's so many things going on in this album that there's bound to be something in there that you do like. So give it a try, give it a listen. So that's my review, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If I had to give a rating for this album, I'm not even going to rate it, because I am just I'm feeling a 10 out of 10. But I'm not going to rate this album, but just take my words for it. My words are, it's a spectacular, excellent masterpiece of work, of music, just everything. So that's what it is. If you don't take that as a 10 out of 10, great. But I'm not going to rate it, because I know I'll probably say that. But it's a great album that I think everybody needs to check out at least once. So, like I said, that's my review. If you like the video, like the video. And if you like me and you want to see more metal reviews of different bands and different stuff like that, subscribe above. I will see you guys in a few days.